Namaskara Bangalore. I hope Neve Higedera. I hope you all are doing very well. Thank you very much for staying with us on DD Dialogue, our election special conclave, which we bring to our viewers all across the country and abroad also, because this is also going on DD India, sir. The voice of the people of Karnataka, the pulse of the poll-bound Karnataka. It's a very intense battle on the cards, because the ruling dispensation of the Bharatiya Janata Party making tall claims of retaining the power, and Congress, the opposition, equally making tallest claims that they are going to give them not only a spirited fight, but they are going to make a comeback without JDS. And JDS maintains that they don't need anyone, they won't be the kingmakers, but they will be the kings. We'll have to see how it pans out, because 10th is the day of counting and 13th the results will be out. And remember, the electorate has always been very unforgiving. Is it going to be caste versus corruption versus development versus national politics? We are very, very glad and honored to have with us one of the tallest leaders from the down south in Karnataka from the BJP. Let me quickly welcome, and I request all of you to join your hands, Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar on DD Dialogue Karnataka Special, MOS Electronics, IT, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Thank you very much for taking out time. I believe you had a very important meeting, but then you chose to be here to take all the questions.
No, this is equally important, or this is even more important.
What makes these elections very, very important for the BJP? I'm going to, there was a lot of attack and counter-attack happening from the opposition Congress, and I was just going through the tweets yesterday, the Twitter war between you and Surjewala. Double engine Sarkar, taking a jibe on that, saying that this is double engine Droh Sarkar, and they're calling BJP with the DNA of Modi and Bomai is about anti-scheduled caste, anti-scheduled tribe, very clearly playing on the front foot on caste equations here.
No, I would, Sakal, I think I wouldn't characterize these as Twitter wars, or I think it is our job in the face of a propaganda mounted by the Congress party that almost certainly for over years has a healthy dose of lies and misinformation. One of the most important responsibilities we have as a party is to ensure that the voters of Karnataka have the facts, have the true picture as they go about this democratic process, taking their decision, which is their legitimate decision to take. So I would certainly not call any tweet of mine that counters a lie of the Congress as a war. I think it is a duty that we have to ensure that the truth is out there for people to hear and understand. On the actual point that is being made, look, we know, and I have said this individually many years ago, that the politics of the Congress, not just in Karnataka, across the country, is increasingly a politics that is a shoot and scoot politics. They put something out there, they don't really have any material to back it up, but they hope that the lie sticks and then they move on to something else. As far as reservation goes, as far as the SC/ST community goes, our party for years is heavily invested in social justice. We believe in Antyodaya, which is the whole mission of delivering governance, delivering opportunity to those for years and decades that have had to languish, that have had to suffer, and have been at a distance from opportunities and governance benefits.
So what was the rationale? Let me interrupt, because you're talking about castes here. So let's have Mr. Chandrasekhar, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, records clear cut on the paper. What was the rationale behind increasing 2% of the, the Lingayat and Vogaligas? And can we, in these elections at least, disconnect for a change caste matrix from elections in Karnataka?
Look, I think, that's what I was trying to say, which is that we don't see social justice, we see social justice as Antyodaya, as our mission, political mission. Some parties see this and do what they do as vote bank, appeasement politics. The Chief Minister has been very clear on this issue. He has said very clearly that reservation on the basis of religion is against the Constitution. And therefore, there was a correction that the government made in terms of what was set aside on the basis of religion, and be more equitable and be more distributive in terms of justice, in terms of allocating it to other...
So it was not a political move, but...
Look, it is election season. So everything can be interpreted through the prism of politics.
What is your
I certainly
interpretation?
think that we don't talk about Antyodaya just before elections. We don't talk about social justice just 2 days before elections. We don't show up and start talking about vote bank politics just before elections.
So Vokalega or
I
Lingaya?
certainly know a few political parties in Karnataka that come out just before elections and talk about caste, community and the so-called persecution those castes and communities go through. So our belief on social justice is very ingrained to what we believe is our political mission.
So am I understanding incorrectly? Vokalega or Lingayat or Kannadigas or other SCs or STs or caste communities here, these are not significant lines here in elections?
No. Like I said, I think if you say if a BJP practices social justice and real social justice and you think of that as being political,
Okay.
and if it does have any benefit during the political process, it is not because we are talking about reservation as much as a broader effort to deliver social justice to those who have been denied this for decades.
Okay.
So that is our approach to it.
So caste reservations or a reservation policy or a revision of reservation policy of the BJP in Karnataka, they're calling it a social justice template. Agreed. Now coming back to the nitty-gritties, and Karnataka would want to know from you, Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who is your chief ministerial candidate?
Look, again,
You
I
want
know,
to know? I can't hear you.
I think this is a legitimate question, and I think it's a question that is posed before every election, and the answer is the same answer. The answer was in 2018 the same answer, and answer
You've
is
been
this.
one of the most vociferous politicians.
No. I don't think there is any dichotomy or contradiction between being vociferous about issues that I'm passionate about and saying things that are process-driven. Our party is not a high command-driven party. We don't take ad hoc, whimsical decisions.
Okay.
Our decisions on leadership are decided by those who are elected after an election, and they will elect who's their leader of the legislative party.
Is it true that Yediyurappa, I mean, I've interacted with many journalists here, the understanding that I'm getting, I may be wrong here because I'm not from South. Yediyurappa ji seems to be the face, but Bommai is the chief minister and he has done a good job. These are not my lines. The party, the kind of signals that the party is sending or already sending, you are getting into some sort of re-engagement with the Lingayat community here. Both are trying to be very friendly with each other in the public domain, but there is a tussle, or you will deny, but then you can't have two chief ministers.
No, look, give me a few minutes to clarify, I think, what are some misconceptions in the way you've approached this topic, and it's a legitimate topic, I don't deny that. For the BJP in Karnataka, Yediyurappa ji is not a Lingayat leader, he's our leader.
Leader, okay.
I know Yediyurappa ji and I've had the privilege and honor of knowing him since the mid-90s. And he is a significant part of the journey of BJP Karnataka from being those 4 MLAs to being in government. So he has never been anything but a state leader for us and a giant leader who inspires even today. Even today, recently when there was a program in Davangere, the crowd erupted when they saw him. So he is a leader that cuts across communities, castes, north, south, east, west of Karnataka.
He's asset to the BJP in Karnataka.
He is not just an asset, he is a tremendous leader. He is a founding leader of the BJP Karnataka, and there is a tremendous amount of respect and goodwill that he commands today and will always command. So to conflate that with the current Chief Minister Bommai is different. This is not even an apples to oranges comparison. So therefore, I think that the suggestion that you have in the question that somehow there is this fight or tussle between Yediyurappa ji and Bommai ji is absolutely, just to be very respectful to you, very, very wrong. Yediyurappa ji is our leader.
Within the cadres,
no,
within the supporters?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We are certainly not the Congress party. We are not like the Janata Dal who's going out there and fighting for which daughter-in-law should get the ticket. Our party is a very cadre-driven party. We are a party that has a great deal of respect for those who have built and worked and created this success that we are today. And Yediyurappa ji is without a doubt one of the principal reasons why we are where we are today as a party.
Could he also be your future chief minister?
Sorry?
Could he also be your future chief minister?
No, I think he has already announced in the assembly as well that he has fought the last election. He has already, he was chief minister.
Well, he has announced, but the party?
Look, I can't now look to the in the bigger oracle and look into the crystal ball. But I certainly don't think he's in the running to be chief minister.
Okay.
Bommai is our chief minister today. We are fighting the election under him as a chief minister. We call our campaign.
I think there was the answer.
Yeah, we have said very clearly this is a double engine sarkara. That Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in Delhi and Chief Minister Bommai is the Chief Minister today in Karnataka.
Yes.
And that is our entire campaign approach, which is double engine sarkara, Karnataka da Abhiruddhiya Sakara. This double engine sarkar will make the progress and prosperity of Karnataka a reality.
इस डबल इंजन सरकार पे कांग्रेस की तरफ से बार-बार वार आता है 40% कमीशन सरकार. I think you know what I'm asking.
Yeah. Look, I think the Congress thinks it's being very clever by deflecting its very long, illustrious track record of corruption by spinning this new line of 40% corruption. And I think somebody in the Congress...
Are you outrightly rejecting it, Mr. Rajiv?
It is the biggest crock of nonsense on the planet since...
so no commissions for the government project?
Look, if there is a commission for the government project and the Chief Minister has made it very clear, all these flaying around just to distract from their own track record, and if you have to take the help of crooked contractors to make a case that there is the government has corruption, the least you can do is file a few cases.
So you're rubbishing it outright?
100% I'm rubbishing it. And I also not only say that.
That's the headline?
No. Yeah. I also say this. I think corruption will be an issue in this election. And we will certainly...
Do you have some corrupt leaders, MLAs?
Look, nobody today, neither in the BJP or any political party will...
You have?
Yeah, no, look.
They were arrested?
Yes, of course. And I want to say this to you...
Will you throw them out?
No. They're arrested and they're in jail.
And this is going to be the case. We don't get to see them again.
Today, the Honorable Prime Minister addressed the CBI in Delhi and said that politically there will never be any roadblocks, imaginary or real, on this fight against corruption. That is how committed we are. That is the zero tolerance to corruption. Now, why I want to bring this issue up very clearly is this following. The preceding government, the Congress government under Chief Minister Siddaramaiah wanted to dilute the ACB, dilute the Lokayukta. This is the government that strengthened the Lokayukta and kept the ACB intact. So, a fight against corruption, even when it involves those within our own system, we are capable of fighting.
Okay.
So that is the difference between our approach towards and our fight against corruption and our zero tolerance to corruption versus some people who have to rely on a photo op with some contractors to make a torturous case on corruption.
Okay. So Rajiv Chandrasekhar and the national broadcaster is contending the fact that the 40% commission sarkar is just a rhetoric and...
It is one more lie in a long list of lies that has begun to describe the Congress's politics.
Okay, any responses to that? Now, okay. So clearly understanding for caste, it's not something that you're going to go out of the way for your vote bank politics. You gave more precedence to development. And corruption की सरकार आप पूरी तरह से इस argument या debate को खत्म कर रहे हैं. जो सच है आप कह रहे कि वो सामने आएगा. अब ये बताइए कि क्या आपको JDS की अगर जरूरत पड़ती है. I'm sure you'll say that we'll be back with numbers and that's what incumbent Chief Minister earlier on our conclave with on the conclave with my colleague Rima, he said that majority and we don't need, and he called JDS hypothesis. But just in case this hypothesis comes true, you never know. It's a last mile voter who decides, sir.
Look, I just want to take you back to the 2018 election. And I want to take you back to the last BBMP election. Both these elections, the BJP as a single party was the single largest party. The mandate was against the Congress and the JDS, both in the BBMP and in the Congress, in the assembly elections of 2018. But they still got together to form an opportunistic alliance and form a government despite the fact they did not have a mandate. That is the history of the JDS. They tango with the Congress all the time. But
some of them are saying JDS is the B team of the BJP.
Yeah, well, whose B team the JDS is, their long history shows.
आप बताइए.
वो B team है कांग्रेस के और ये मैं आज आप आपके
कांग्रेस कह रहे हैं वो बी टीम
नहीं, वो कांग्रेस तो बहुत कुछ कहता है. Congress says a lot of things all the time. All of them have been proven wrong, and they constantly go to the court to apologize about what they say. That's a separate issue. The issue here is very clearly this: the Congress cannot in any way form a government in this state without the JDS. And they have not been able to form a government in this state since 2004 without the JDS. The JDS is clearly Congress's B team. The Congress's entire strategy depends on them coming to an understanding with the JDS. The BJP is very clear. We are on mission 150. We think that the people of Karnataka have seen how the 2018 mandate was snatched by this Opportunity Alliance. And we think that the people of Karnataka will give a decisive mandate to double engine Sarkara, and we think it will be north of 150 seats.
Okay, all right. That's quite a confidence coming out there. But I just want to slightly deflect, since I have you on this hot seat. Bangalore being the IT hub, the unicorn, the startup capital, IT revolution, digital revolution, etc. We had one of the representatives of the JDS earlier on the panel. They are completely rubbishing your IT revolution claim, saying that people still in rural Bangalore, Karnataka are unprepared for it. Well, I remember when I was here in 2018, I did a lot of cash transactions. But yesterday, I was very glad to do a UPI transaction for my 20 rupees coffee. So, but then they're saying that this is all facade that the BJP is created.
You know, what else can they say? I don't expect the Congress and the JDS to say that we have done a good job. The leaders of the Congress rubbished the UPI, DBT into the floor of the parliament. They say so-called economic czar, the Chidambarams of the world, who ran the economy to the ground, mocked digital.
Tanveer Ahmed from the JDS calls it digi fraud on this very show.
Okay, so let me.
This one is for Tanveer Ahmed.
No, I don't want to respond to Tanveer Ahmed or anybody, but let me certainly tell you what our track record and what the power of technology has been. For decades in this country, when 100 rupees left the government, 15 rupees reached the beneficiary. I am not saying this, the famous Rajiv Gandhi said this. This was what governance was about in India. Post 2014, thanks to the use of technology in government, when 100 rupees leaves the government of India or the government of Karnataka, the entire 100 rupees reaches the beneficiary's account free of corruption.
They're calling it fraud accounts.
Yeah, fair
non-existent accounts.
That's okay. Look, lot of the politicians in the Congress and the JDS don't understand benefits. They don't understand how important it is for people to get this money without having to bribe. They've never experienced it. They've always been on the other side of it where they were receiving bribes.
Okay.
So this is a very, very different world, different India, where every citizen feels connected to the government and is transacting with the government without leakage and without corruption. This is a dramatic change. And by the way, I am not saying that this is unique to Karnataka. This has been experienced in the furthest and the remotest part of India, where for the first time in decades in India, the trust between government and citizens are being built because there is no more of this type of delay and corruption in terms of government benefits. So this is all power of technology.
Okay.
Now, and let me give you another example. 18 lakh new jobs have been created in the tech space, electronics manufacturing in the last 14 months. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? 15 to 18 lakh skilled, industry-ready, future-ready youth of Karnataka will be given skills in the next 2 years. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I certainly think, from where we stand in government, that empowering young Indians, giving them the skills, getting them jobs, putting them into entrepreneurship, creating startups, creating an enabling environment where they can succeed in the world is a good thing. Now, it is quite possible that the people in JDS with their uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, cousins don't think it's a great idea. It is very possible that in the Congress that is full of, again, uncles, brothers, sisters, mothers, connected sycophants, they don't think it's a good idea. That's fine. We will agree to disagree. We have been repeatedly elected by the people of the country in many states because they appreciate what we are doing. So as long as the voters of Karnataka...
So here the voters decide who is the chief
minister. So therefore, as long as the
have a call in it?
No, as long as the voters treat what we do with respect and thank us for it, we are fine. We are certainly not looking for a vote of confidence from the Congress and the JDS dynasties. So what they say
Okay.
is not very relevant to
Okay.
what we do.
Quick,
Yeah.
few questions.
Yeah, sure.
What's going to happen on 9th? Rahul Gandhi is going to be here. Honorable Prime Minister is going to be. I'm talking about the Kolar rally. Many believe that this is going to turn the discourse from the local politics to the national politics. Again, this whole perception of Rahul Gandhi versus Modi. I mean, there is no comparison. But yeah, you're smiling out there.
No, look, I think if you would ask anybody to predict what new rabbit Rahul Gandhi will pull out of his hat, it's one of those Bermuda Triangle type mysteries. Why he says what he says, why he does what he does, when does he do it, who tells him to do it. I am not in the business of predicting his next snafu or his next piece of
So
history.
ये जो कहा जा रहा है कि series of inaugurations, spree of inaugurations by obviously Prime Minister and Amit Shah ji was also here. So Congress or the JDS, they seem to be pretty much uncomfortable rather than on a sticky note. They're not liking it. And they're relating this with elections again.
Sakal, I will say this. I don't think there is a Karyakarta in the BJP who loses a minute's sleep about whether the Congress likes them or the JDS likes them.
Okay.
So that is their, if they have a lot of time and energy to spend hating us, abusing the Prime Minister, so be it. Let them do that.
Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, do you believe in the exit polls and the opinion polls? Although on DD we don't give much credence to that, but because people deserve to know.
No, look, exit polls and opinion polls are exit polls and opinion polls, and I have some experience in that, so I won't toss
That's
anything
why
out.
I asked.
No, so therefore I don't like basically dismissing anything, but I do think that the timing is yet to be, the right timing for a poll is yet to come, because we have just started the campaign. People don't know who the candidates are. People don't. So
why, by the way, since you brought it up, when do we get to see the list? Why the delay?
I will see the list at the same. No, I'll see the list at the same time as you'll see the list.
Okay.
So I don't think I get any.
You're not in a hurry?
No. I mean, the party will certainly decide it before the last date for nominations.
Okay.
So I don't think there is any great suspense on it.
Okay.
There is a process. We are very rigorous. We look at it from all the way from the constituency upwards. Karyakartas have a view on who the candidates will be. And that's a process that goes all the way from bottom up to the top. Ours is not a top down. No father, brother, son will decide who the candidate is. So therefore it is a very bottom up approach, and therefore it takes a longer time than, let's say, a Congress arbitrary decision or a JDS decision.
Please clear some air. I have to ask you this one. Hijab controversy and bringing in the Hindutva plank, rather pushing the Hindutva plank is the charge coming from the Congress party that you want to destroy the very fabric of down South Karnataka.
Our Chief Minister has said repeatedly, and he said today in the media center launch, the BJP media center launch, we will go into this campaign as a pro-incumbency campaign. Our campaign is based on our report card, what we have done in the last 3.5 years, and we will make a strong case based on what we have done in the 3.5 years as a double engine Sarkara for a further 5-year mandate from the people of Karnataka.
And this hijab, azan, so on and so forth.
Look, it has been spoken
Tipu
about.
Sultan.
Yeah, so I think, look, wherever there is hypocrisy, wherever there is appeasement, wherever there is vote bank politics, we will expose it. We will unafraidly expose it. And there are enough politicians that need to be exposed for the kind of blatant vote bank politics that they have played for decades in the state. So wherever there is an opportunity that it presents itself, we will expose it. But our plank is very clear. It's basic plank on what we have done in the last 3.5 years. And why is that important? The last 3.5 years are certainly the most challenging times in the history of Karnataka. With COVID, with the floods, these are scenarios and eventualities that Karnataka as a state and its people have never dealt with. And we have, as a double engine Sarkara, managed to protect lives, managed to protect livelihoods during the entire 3.5 year process, and that is what we would put in front of people.
Though not directly related to this, but I need to ask you, this disqualification of Rahul Gandhi and the whole Bharat Jodo Yatra and whatever is happening in Delhi, do you think that's going to have any impact here?
Look, I don't know. I think people have a habit of playing victim. It seems to me that some political leaders have mastered the art of using victimhood for their politics. But I think anybody with a modicum of common sense will know that Rahul Gandhi did something wrong, was found to have done something wrong by a court, and is paying the consequences of a law. that is in force.
So you're
Now,
not playing on caste, you're playing on the fight back on corruption. That's what you're saying, and you're playing on development. And
Sure.
anti-incumbency doesn't exist for BJP.
Our campaign is a pro-incumbency campaign. It's based on the work that the double engine Sarkara has done in the last 3.5 years. And we'll make a strong case that the next 5 years should be a mandate for the same double engine Sarkara. And that will create prosperity and economic
So this
opportunity
mandate
for all.
is not going to be for Modi, but it's going to be for Yedurappa or Bommaiah or any leader. We don't know. Maybe there's a third
It is
contender.
a double engine Sarkara, we say. It is a mandate for our tallest leader, our leader of our nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji.
Okay.
And certainly for every BJP Karyakarta and voter who wants 5 more years of economic growth and development.
Last word for the opposition, 10 seconds.
No, I have. I
Okay,
wish,
for the electorate.
No, I think the electorate, I would only say, don't listen to the lies. There will be certainly, as political parties get more desperate, there'll be a lot more lies and a lot more flaying
Desperate
around.
times call desperate times.
Yeah, desperate times for desperate parties call for desperate measures. And I think they will do that. And it is for the voter to remain very focused on what is best for him or her and his and her family, and the future of that family, future of their children, future of the youth of Karnataka. And I think if they think that way, it is certainly clear that the BJP and the double engine Sarkara will be the party that will be privileged to get
So
their
if
vote.
that happens, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, you're going to make history of sorts in Karnataka. In 20 years, it has not happened, no repetition of the government. Do you think, and if that happens, finally, sir, who takes the credit for that? Who will you attribute this big win to?
So in terms of making history, I think the BJP under Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has made it in many states. UP, you have seen it. You've seen it in multiple states. Gujarat, you've seen it for multiple terms of the government. And I think certainly we are in the business of breaking the status quo of politics. And we will certainly do that in Karnataka. And in terms of who should get the credit, it will be for every man and woman voter of Karnataka who wants a better future and wants to shrug off 60 years of Congress JDS exploitation. So they will be the ones who need to be thanked for
So
this
BJP
mandate.
is calling Congress JDS rule here in Karnataka as exploitation, and the biggest headline from this conclave here in Karnataka is BJP, the ruling dispensation of Bharatiya Janata Party in down south Karnataka, which is as of now the lone bastion of the BJP, is set to break the status quo, which means that Rajiv Chandrasekhar and the party and the camp are very, rather supremely confident of the big win, but we'll have to wait and watch till 13th of May. Like I started by saying, electorate is always very unforgiving. You never know. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rajiv
Thank you.
Chandrasekhar.
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
talking.